Let me tell you, live like you're going to live 100 years. Okay? Live like you're going to live 100 years. But when it comes to pursuing your purpose, pursue it like you're going to die tomorrow. But when it comes to living and planning, plan like you have 100 years ahead of you. How are you going to live those 100 years? Some of you are here, but you're in your late 20s and 30s. You have never known what a retirement fund looks like. How many of us have retirement funds? You have... Gundi. Ngolowoza nnyo. How many of us have retirement funds? We have like 2 people in this room. 3 people. So we are like 4 people in this room who have a retirement. But let me tell you, you can like any time, you can forcefully retire, and then there is a retirement that you wait until your retirement comes. And then there are some of us who just don't want to be in active policies past certain age. Right? I should be, about my business and pursuing and, vacationing and having fun. Since I related naku. Wanji? But plan, okay? So now I've put that inside of you. A retirement fund is very important, and you start it while you're in your 20s. Some of you think you should think of retirement while you're 40. No, start when you're in your 20s. What kind of life do you want to be that mokadde alina n'amalibu naye ng'osabiriza? Nabagamba, this generation abana baffe, we are the ones who are going to help them. So you might as well plan for that. While you plan for your retirement, plan that you're going to have dependents. Okay? Okay, so they wait for the phone to ring. Remember, we say the initiators call, but these ones wait for the phone to ring all the time. And then they react to problems. And number 5, they wait for the right moment. There is never a right moment. Remember, the other side, we seize the moment. But here they wait for the right moment. They put others' requests in their calendars. For example, so-and-so is going to have an event. So-and-so is going... Like you have... But for you cannot prioritize and say, you know what? Every end of month, how many of you do nails here? You do nails? You do your nails? Do you have a particular time you do your nails? Aha. So some of you don't have a particular time you actually do your nails. For example, right now my nails are resting. And they're going to rest for 2 weeks. That's what because then sometimes when I'm up and down, I prefer having acrylics because they take longer. But right now, I am putting on my natural nails and they're resting for a while. I do my nails every beginning of month. So I have that on calendar because I don't have that much time to be around and doing things, okay? So make sure that you know that, by the way, this is what I do. For example, when do I do shopping? Some of you buy random clothes. Like, seriously. Engeri gye museseemu. Oli wayitawo n'akagato ka blue n'ogula. Bwayitawo n'engato ya purple n'ogula. Bwayita bwagamba, waliwo ka blouse kali aka pink n'engato ejjagenderako n'ogigula. Like, we do that and then we ask, where is our money going? You're being a reactor. Now, an initiator, I buy my clothes every June. Yes. In media, every media, I change my wardrobe. June, because then I've gone through the first part of the year. So if I want to change anything, and depending on my condition, back then maybe I'm thinking whether I'm going to be pregnant or whether I'm going. So I check out all my seasons and what's going to be happening, whether I'm going to be traveling or whether I'm going to have more TV appearances. Because when you have TV appearances, olugwe kasaba lukubamu ekifaananyi omulundi gumu. Nga bagamba mama Bahati engoye nga aziddamu nnyo. Like, seriously, when you put it on the following day, they're like, Mama Bahati ayambala lugoye lumu. So for those of you that are on mentorship, my friend, that is what the world you're getting into. Being in public eye and being a public figure and a celebrity is no joke. So it's going to teach you a lot of things, okay? And it doesn't mean that you should spend a lot. I don't spend a lot on my clothes. I don't. I will time my seasons, I will buy in bulk, or I will buy when I have traveled. I will do something that makes sure that my budget is less than what I should have spent. Because then, nagulengo yempakadi. I have other things to do. Okay? And then you spend time with the people. Reactors spend time with the people. Wali olumbe tugende. Banange pate ya end of year wa chichi ya company ya ferane bwe mbasiri mukozi nsobola okujja waliwo mugenda ku end of year parties ezitali za companies zammwe mwebali muli so waje kikubidde ate bw'obeera mu church banange simanyi eri waliyo youth service baby shower. We're going to put on pink. Then Bali, we're going to put on floral. Nobera mu pink, nobera mu floral, nobera mu red, nobera mu sky blue jeans, simani tone jeans, mwenda muli wano. So for you are busy just reacting to other things. You're spending time with people. But let me tell you, when you spend time with people, when it comes time for your need, they run away. They ghost you. Gamba gundi ya good day, ali kundiri. Let me tell you, bagenda kubeera ku party. Nga bambadde ne patra. Ng'oli ku oxygen. When you invest time in people, they would cancel everything that they have. And they will be by your side praying for you and claiming you back. I told you about the story about my mother last time. And the lady that she claimed back, and she was like, you are not dying. She had her receipts that she had built church, and she was like, I am claiming you back because of the good works that you have done in God's house. You're not going anywhere. You still have to serve God. But why? Because she had invested time in her, okay? That is why you get dissatisfied after some time, because then you are not among the planners, you are not like amongst the priorities, but you are thought of as someone who feeds off the crumbs, because then you have to be reactionary, because that leader is actually reactionary, is not an initiator. Do you get what I'm saying? Because an initiator automatically goes on top. You cannot initiate while you're behind. Even when you're behind, bagamba ekirabo ky'omuntu kimusegulize kubo. So while you're speaking and you bring a good idea, before you know it, in the boardrooms, you're the ones come and defend your idea. So you find yourself, you have to defend your idea. Because maybe you told it to your manager, but your manager didn't understand it. So he has to call you to come and explain. Before you know it, bakugamba nti omanyi, okay, Kale, even if you don't want a big position, there are people who have denied big position. I don't want to be the HR, but I can actually be chief of, or maybe assistant. Why? It's because they still want to hide somewhere, okay? But they know that they are built for something more. I want you to look at every mover and shaker. They have a longing to be something more inside of you, okay? So I wanted to give you that background to show you that, by the way, you are meant for more. Now, what is holding you back is the fear. And the fear is because of two things. The fear of the unknown, and that is the anxiety, right? And the regrets of the past. That is holding you. You don't know how this thing is going to unfold, how fast it's going to catch the fire, where it is going to land, who is going to say what. So you care about what people are going to say. You care that the demons in your closet are going to be displayed. You care that the cans in your the worms in your can are going to be opened. You care about all those things, okay? But let me tell you, you can never. That is why I will say this. Most of the transformational speakers or motivational speakers or people helpers that have been prominent in the world, guess what? Even your brand manager tells you, come out in the open and speak about your dirty linen. So she will come and say, I am a marriage therapist and I've been through 5 divorces. Here in Africa, when you say 5 divorces, bagamba mwana wange togenda yeyo. Oyo agenda okuyigiriza okudduka. Togenda yeyo. But they will say, I've been through 5. And guess what? How the Western world views them is, if you have been through 5 divorces, you know you have enough experience to actually help me through mine. Do you get it? So we consume these things differently. The Western has gotten to a place where your past is not a shame. It's not. I mean, I have been single, I have dated, and I have dated like any other girl, right? So if you're going to bring my past right now about who I dated and who I didn't date, the loss is on you. The joke is on you because you're not telling me news. You're telling me still news. You're actually telling me history. Find something new to tell me. So if you have something new, if you don't have anything new to tell me, I have no ears for you. I will keep going. So let the onlookers say, let the bystanders say, because the best someone can say, togenda gukontrollinga. So if I can't control it and just shut it, why should I mind what comes out of your mouth? And there is no one that is on this growth journey that has time to yap. No one. Every yapper is one who has a lot of time on their hands. They don't know their purpose. They don't know their passion. They are not building anything in this world. So all they have time to do is to deconstruct and pull down and shame and guilt trip and do everything. Now, when you listen to such people, when will you grow? I remember there's a time my husband told me, the house that we built, he was like, genda okwogeza abantu obwama. I was like, babwogere. Tewaliyo gye twabonaabonera ne ssente gye twazikolera. You get it? As in, how dare you come and start dictating what kind of house I should build? Whether it's a palace, whether it's a mansion, and I'm building it on an acre of land, it's my acre of land. So deal with it. Like, seriously. Now, that attitude, I'm not just saying this for the sake of saying, naye waliwo ebintu like ebikukoya, ebikukoya ez'obwereere, like okulowooza ku bantu abalala. Now, I'm not saying that we are all going to get that strength to jump out. No, that strength to jump out comes gradually. The more you continue on this journey, the more you grow, the more you discover that ninabe enkotogera by not coming out. But the more you care about people, you're like, nja kigabanako n'omuntu omu, nja kigabanako n'abantu babiri, abantu ababiri bagenda kufuuka abantu ekikumi, whether I'm going to do company one-on-ones or stuff like that. Now, the word of mouth is going to go around, and guess what? By the time anyone has something to say, they have something to compare it with. They're like, you get it? Even the naysayers. Now, those that are not sayers, they are busy, they will only take the positive. Because I don't have time kweti kabitali byange. You get it? So, it's a gradual process. Otherwise, if you pop up like Emberenge, and you're like, I've been hiding, now, I am here. They start shooting. They start shooting you down, you know? What happened, what you said, what's manu, you were what? Because let me tell you, we have been different things in our entire lifetime. We have been different things to different people. Okay? There are some people who will tell you, Bahati, hey. So let whoever, just like Jesus said, let whoever has never done it pick a stone. Where did they disappear from? I think kubanga yagenda okuyimusa amaaso bwati nga no one is there. Because chances are bali basinga obwenzi. Bali basinga, you know, all those things. But they were busy. Stone her. Aka omusajja gwe yayenze naye aluwa. Mbate, culture, let me tell you. Our cultures dictate a lot, and I've taken long on this to expound on this because I know that so many of us are stuck somewhere. We feel because, you know, an introvert, and I want to tell you that most people are actually not introverts. They've just been twisted and chained by circumstances. Either where you grew up from or ebintu ebyakukuba ne bikumalamu confidence, and you found that being an introvert is a safe harbor. You can easily hide. But guess what? When you go to TikTok, ebintu byolaba. Olaba mama nsuzi, olaba bakasuka bigereri, the things you consume should tell you who you are. That, by the way, you want a totally different life, but you are chained to a different life. When you see people who are having fun and out there, like, I wish it was me. So most of you are not introverts. Most of you are chained. You are like donkeys that are chained to chairs. You can actually move with that chair, but for you, you think that chair is static. So you have eaten everything around you, all the grass. Now you are gnashing. There is no grass to eat, but you're still chained to the chair. So you're looking to everyone else. That is why when you come here, by the way, I don't just tell, you know, things are going to be okay. You know, go and pray and do this. I tell you, do the work. Wanji? Show up, learn the tricks, and apply them. Okay? If it is to save, save. If it is to work hard, work hard. If it is to wake up early. If it is to do everything that you need to do, then you believe God. Because you believe, he even says that faith without actions. Very dead. How long ago was that book written? Before the birth of Jesus and before what? So before the birth of Jesus, people you put in the work. They did. How many? Not even centuries. We are counting what? I don't even know how to call them because they are too big and too huge. Okay? So from time immemorial, it's about working. It's about looking for a good life. It's about, going beyond yourself. So I want you to look at yourself and say, you know what? What's there? What more can I do? When I just started, Twatandi said the session, excuse me, I didn't warn you. So, when I began this journey of media, okay, I was a senior 6 vacist, and that is when I started with Spirit FM, so you can imagine how old I am. So, and the available slot then was, it was a Prayer Force Africa gig. Prayer Force Africa was a company, and so Prayer Force Africa was like a prayer chain. So we would have radio. So because I was eloquent and I was speaking, and they were like, you come on radio in the morning and start, supporting the people that are going to be on radio and stuff like that. So that is when I start the journey. Now, when I start the journey, remember, I'm senior 6 vacist. I don't even know where my tuition is going to come from. I'm the firstborn in my family. My parents don't know anything that I should be or where I should be and what I should do. The best thing that my mother did was to actually connect me to Prayer Force Africa. Because after that, I think she looked at her girl and she was like, you know what? Instead of letting you kwara chalo bichi bichi, I would rather I commit you somewhere, I take you somewhere where I know you will be occupied, but you'll be doing things of God. So the best thing, and today, up to today, I still thank her. So I go to Prayer Force Africa. That is more than 20 years ago. That is the first time I actually, not the second time I met Tim. I met him at Prayer Force Africa. So I start my journey at Prayer Force Africa, radio, and coming in the morning. I told you about my ordeal where the radio would go off, and then we were at UCU, and then I would have to go to the generator room. But I was so small. Someone told me today that they saw my picture when I was in that shop, like nalinga kati, literally. So I would go to the generator room. You know how those big generators, by the time it lights up the whole UCU, like it's a huge generator. So and make sure that I switch on like the light, and I have to hold on for my dear life to make sure that switch happens from power to generator, and that is sawa kumi za chiro. I would do that nearly every day because I would switch off the radio at midnight and I would switch on to Praise FM. It was an international radio. And in the morning at around 3:30 or 3:40, I would go to the generator room, and it was a distance. Even when it rained and there was thunder, I was the girl who was keeping the whole station, and I would move across to go and put on the generator. But while I put on the generator, in my heart, I was not content to say that, you know what, this is it, I have arrived. Because so many of us arrive at levels where we are not supposed to arrive. In my heart, I was like, there is something more that I can actually do. There is something more that I can actually do. There is something beyond just switching on the generator and switching on the TV, the radio, and just keeping it at that and praying in the morning. So what happened one day, there was a wedding and I accepted to be an MC. Senior 6 vacist. The MC disappeared and I was like, I am here. So they gave me my first gig as an MC. And I remember it was at Lugogo Uma Ground. By then, 20 years ago, by the time my wedding was at Lugogo Uma Ground, it was a big wedding. So I went and MC'd. While I am there, now Ben and Masan, Uncle Sam is where he saw me doing MC job. And I was like, you can actually work on radio. I was like, yes. I didn't know what they do on radio like that much. But I was like, yes, I can actually do radio. And the next weekend, I was on a show. Actually, it was called Africa Anointed. It was a Sunday show. My friend, I became a celeb immediately. But remember, I had within me that I cannot settle. This is not it. Like, this is not it. There must be something bigger than this. But still, even after I got a radio show, weekend radio show, and I would sit in for everyone else. The night presenter is not around, I am around. The morning presenter is not around, Nze Uyo. Mid-morning is not around, Nze Uyo. I am so thankful for saying all the yeses that I said in this life. They got me to where I am. I said yes without hesitating. I threw myself at tasks that I even had no business doing. I didn't know how I would do them, but I said I will learn. Even if I didn't study for it, I will know how to do it. So I would study all those softwares. I would do what? I learned how to record. I did all those things. Then I did production job for Koboko for almost 3 years. You know, these people, when they look at me, they say, hey, yes. That is the journey that I took to get to where I am. Now, from all those things, you know, went on radio and went into business, did so many things, came back to Spirit FM. But the years, the 20 years and so much more, the evolving and the growth that has happened in my life has been as a result of saying there is something more after this. There is something more after where I am. Some of us got married and we thought that is it. Like, seriously. I remember there's you know, when you're growing, there's a curve where you get and plateau a bit. I remember there's a time I was like, like seriously, I think there is nothing more. Like, that even made me hate marriage. I was like, no. When I woke up, I was like, no, marriage is not, I mean, life is not just about getting married and having children and that is it. Like, I felt there was something. How many of you feel that there's something more inside of you? Something more to work towards. Now, the moment you sense that there's something more, there's an unsettling feeling. And I guess that is the reason we are all here. That we are all on the path to grow. Do you see that I'm in front of you? I am still growing. I am not settled. There's something more than where I am right now. And I must reach out for it. Okay? So while I hold other people's hands, I'm also raising my hand for someone to lift me. Because there is always someone that can take me to the next level. I remember the person that recommended me to Beyond Success, to John Maxwell team. This is a person that came to Uganda for the first time from Ghana, and he had a Africa radio broadcast conference. And so when he was told, Bahati works with a radio and stuff like that, so he got in touch with me. You know, randomly, like someone is saying, I'm going to a country, I don't know anyone. Maybe let me make a few friends. So this person connects, invites me for the conference, and I'm like, you know what? I will go and sit behind and just watch. You know how these things are going. So that I went once to the conference. It was a whole week. I went once. It was at the Mirembe guest house. I went once, sat behind, registered, looked at everything that was going on. But I made sure that I humbly welcome him. I made sure that I connect him with a driver who would take him around. Now, little did I know that 7 months after he went back to Ghana, and he was asked, who do you know in Africa? In Africa, who can run this project? He was like, I know Bahati. He had met me once. You get it? But the saying yes to go to the right place, to do the right thing, made a connection. And I've gotten so many. That is why I usually tell you, be a lover of people and believe in people. Even when they are bad, you can never know what can come out of that. Now, I'm saying that because of the constant yeses I said at every step of my life. And I did not worry about what people would think. There are things that things I've done and they would look stupid to another. I have taken free gigs and told me we don't have money. And I'm like, it's okay. I will do it because it's my passion. And then while you are doing it, you're actually getting a referral in the middle of doing it. Okay? So the constant yeses are going to lead you to... And while you say yes, while you say no to the least important things, save the yeses for the most important things. And I want you to be able to see, to have those second eyes and discernment where opportunities are, and be able to actually say yes when an opportunity presents itself. Because sometimes the opportunities are not wrapped in the papers that we expect are going to be wrapped. Some of them come with dirt. Some of them are not in proper wrapping papers, but they are opportunities, okay? Some of them have a silver lining somewhere, but we cannot see it. It's carrying a blessing somewhere, but you cannot see it. So I want you to be a mega person that is going to say yes. We have 2 months. These 2 months that we have to close, and it's actually less than a month. 2 months. And the question I want to ask you, where you are right now, is that where you envisioned to be at the beginning of this year? How many of us say that where you are right now is where you envisioned to be? None of us. So that means we are in the same boat that must make an about turn and decide to pursue one thing. I want you to drop all the other things that you had set on your list to achieve, and I want you to name one thing. One thing that you're going to give your best shot and say, if I achieve this, I will have made a turnaround in this year, and I will have achieved something worthwhile. How many of us are ready to do that? Can we name that one thing?
My name again is Patience Nwasima. When I was drawing my year's plan, I had a couple of things I wanted to do. For starters, I was working as an executive director in an NGO, and I had said that is not going to be enough for me. I needed more money. And I had set out that by the end of 2022, I need to have 5 sources of income. But like I mentioned some time back, I'm an introvert, and unless you give me an opportunity, sometimes I have a tendency of laying back. But I knew where my strength was. For example, I had set out among the 5 different sources of income I wanted to do, I wanted to start events hosting, because I know when I hold the mic and I say I'm going to speak, I will really speak. And I wanted to do that mainly for weddings and maybe graduations here and there. Now, I set that goal, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. I reached out to companies that I knew would help hold my hand, like we say here. And most of these people didn't give me feedback. And unfortunately, for me, it turned me down. I was like, I think maybe I'm not good enough, or these people don't see the good that is in me. So 5 months down the road, around May, I remember I was walking down the road from work, and I was like, but wait a minute, Patience, you said you're going to do this. What happened? So I reached out to one person, and then he's like, just that call. I called this person. I got their number from their social media account, and then I called. And then this gentleman is like, just the way you talked is enough for me to know that you can do this. So here we are going to do this. So he gave me an appointment. Now, the place where he wanted me to meet him, I asked a friend of mine, and she's like, that place, Pesha, if you don't have 200,000 for a plate of food, don't dare. I looked at myself. We had no money. The organization hadn't paid us. So I was like, Chiwede, I can't go. I canceled the appointment, guys. Yeah, I canceled the appointment. I'm telling you this because I know it's going to help someone out there, and because I know I've now gone beyond that. But that time, that was in May, I canceled the appointment because I was like, this guy is just too expensive. He wants to kukula me, like, who's going to pay for that food? What if he reaches? But remember, I hadn't heard his side of the story. I didn't know whether he was going to pay or it's me who was going to pay. Like, for me, I just made that conclusion from the discussion I had with this friend of mine. So I canceled. I just told this person, you know what, my child is sick. I'm not able to come. And he's like, okay, we'll plan next time. We didn't plan. May, June, July, August. It is in September that I reached out again. And then he's like, I'd even forgotten about you. He had forgotten about me. Like, who forgets he had even, But I also hadn't followed up. Now, last month in October, on 1st, I have a small board I put on my bedroom door. So I went back and visited. It's after actually I was from here. So I went and visited my plans, my monthly goals, and I was like, what happened to this particular plan? What happened? So I said, I'm not even going to reach out to him. Let me first market myself. Once I get there, then I reach out to him, so that if he has something to do for me, it's just going to be top up. So I went to some wedding meeting at Centenary Park, and I told the chairman of the meeting that, you know what, I want to be the MC of your event. The chairman was like, it's rare for women to come and say they want to be MCs at weddings, but if you're ready, let me speak to the Mugole. The guy, he didn't know me, I didn't know him, but he stood up, went and talked to this lady, and then he's like, she can be our MC. So they're like, how much do you charge? Guys, I didn't know what to charge.
How much did you tell them?
I didn't know what to charge. So I told them, can you give me 500,000? The Mugole was like, musasule ko deposit. Then I was like, oh, I should have charged more. I should have charged more. But I mean, it opened my eyes that actually I can do this. If I determine myself and say, you know what, I'm going to do this, I can do it. So come 2022, I'm saying by the end of this year, I have to make sure every month. We have only 2 months, remember. We have only this November and this and December. But I've set out and I'm saying by the time we close December, I want to have a record of 4 weddings that I've emceed at, because I can do it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.